Welcome to yet another edition of Agribiotech, a program focused on the significance of agricultural biotechnology to Nigeria. I am Lara Afolayan. On last week's edition of the program, we saw the Nigerian farming community and, of course, a female farmer speak on the expected benefits of the BT cowpea variety. Today, we shall be sustaining that conversation as the All Farmers Association of Nigeria shares its thoughts on this issue. Let's now begin with a look at agricultural biotechnology stories making the rounds in parts of the world. A gathering of Central African countries, the African Development Bank AFDB, as well as the International Labour Office, is looking to unlock potentials of rural economies through investment in the skills development and employability of young Central Africans in the agricultural sector. The AFDB says most rural communities in the region receive little private and public investments, making them lack facilities such as schools, health, public transports, electricity or drinking water, as well as distribution networks. They also suffer from an almost non-existence of companies and a very low presence of government representatives. The result of this is growing imbalance between rural and urban areas, lack of opportunities and perspectives for young people in rural areas. This in turn makes them vulnerable and idle, ultimately pushing them towards cities where without training and professional qualifications, they will have no other possibility than to get unbefitting employment. The Food and Agriculture Organization's Director General, Jose Graziano da Silva, has said the world must adopt a new approach that incorporates repositioning food systems from feeding people to nourishing people. He says latest numbers show conditions of obesity and being overweight are growing faster than hunger. The FAO Director General describes it as an epidemic, and so the right to healthy food should be a key dimension for zero hunger and the right to food itself. Da Silva also mentioned that ensuring the right to adequate food is more than just having enough food on the table and means empowering people to feed themselves and their families in dignity. An international team of researchers, including scientists affiliated with the United States Department of Agriculture, have genetically modified cassava to contain much higher levels of iron and zinc than the non-transgenic variety. They used two genes from theocress, a plant that happens to be one of the most studied organisms in all of biology. The first gene was from iron-regulated transporter IRT1, which encodes an iron transplant protein. The second, FER1, encodes ferritin, an iron storage protein. Modifying the plant with these two genes increased not only iron levels but zinc levels as well. The International Potato Center and its partners have distributed the orange-fleshed sweet potato OFSP planting material to mothers and provided them with nutrition education and agronomic training. It was in an effort to reduce vitamin A deficiency in vulnerable households in sub-Saharan Africa. It was also to convince and enable smallholder farmers grow and consume the crop, even though the farmers need to maintain their own planting material for subsequent growing seasons. Orange-fleshed sweet potato is an excellent source of beta-carotene, which becomes vitamin A in the body. The crop can thus be a lifesaver for children during their first 1,000 days, when vitamin A is essential for the development of good eyesight and good health. It is also vital for breastfeeding mothers or women in their late pregnancy. Promoters of biotechnology for agriculture in Nigeria say the technologies used in agriculture has immense benefits. They also challenge those with arguments against its use to bring them forward so clarification could be offered. The Nigerian government recently approved the environmental release of the pod borer-resistant cowpea, popularly called beans. The variety was developed by the Institute for Agricultural Research (IAR) of the Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. The decision is contained in a document released by the National Biosafety Management Agency grants permit for the environmental release of the PBR cowpea, which has been genetically modified to resist the insect pest called Maruca vitrata. By that approval, it means the crop is safe and poses no harm to humans or the environment and can now be submitted to the National Varietal Release Committee for consideration and registration as a commercial crop in Nigeria. Scientists are positive it will address the national cowpea demand deficit of about 500,000 tons and also improve the national productivity average of 350 kilograms per hectare. The development makes the PBR cowpea the first genetically modified food crop to be approved in the country. Promoters of the technology say adequate research was carried out before the approval.
Would they prefer we stagnate our research and development while other nations develop? Would they prefer that we don't regulate so that things can be moved into Nigeria with the porous borders that we have? You cannot wake up and just condemn the research that took over 10 years to achieve and we should have limited or no knowledge at all. For the past 10 years, this research has been on up to the 11th generation of the plant that we are talking about. And so we have looked at every aspect of it, all the concerns that are being raised, and that's why we are saying, come. Every person who is involved in biotechnology research is in this group. Those who are involved in biosafety research is in this group. We have come together to look at it. Where you have problems, bring it to the table. Let us explain to you the issues that are involved and we can deal with it. Where genuine concerns are raised, all of them will be addressed. Today, beans from Nigeria is not accepted. That's cowpea from Nigeria is not accepted at the international market due to overdose of pesticide residue. This one is common knowledge. So if we have a means of reducing the pesticide residue so that our farmers' produce in terms of cowpea could be accepted in the international market, I should think that that should make every Nigerian happy, as that will bring in more exchange, earnings for the country, and improved standard of living for the farmers.
Our farming practices have not improved from what it used to be in the 70s. And the farmers are reducing in number. And the population is increasing. We keep saying this all the time. So how do we survive? What I would say here is that these people the people who are against biotech, development of biotech, should even come out with better alternatives to feed the nation eventually.
The Institute for Agricultural Research, in partnership with the African Agricultural Technology Foundation (AATF), commenced the research to address the deadly Maruca vitrata attacks on beans in 2009. This followed failure of several efforts to address the situation through conventional breeding methods. The research was carried out for 9 years, and after meeting all regulatory stipulations and scientific procedures, the Biosafety Authority saw it fit to introduce the crop variety into the nation's agricultural seed system. The All Farmers Association of Nigeria is an umbrella body for farmers here in Nigeria. This association's Vice President Daniel Okafor will be joining me here shortly after this timeout on why he supports this technology and how he expects it to impact positively on the country's agricultural output. And joining me on the program is the National Vice President of the All Farmers Association of Nigeria, Daniel Okafo, and he's here to share his perspective on the use of biotechnology for agriculture in Nigeria. It's good to have you join me on the program.
Thank you, Larry.
Okay, so let's start from here. What are the peculiar challenges that confront farming in Nigeria?
Really, actually, there's a lot of problems, a lot of challenges that the farmers in Nigeria is having. First of all, the first and foremost is the inputs. Second one is the finance. And the other one is the rural roots, which is very, very interesting, that people should know a farmer always in the hinterland, and if they doesn't have a route to carry their goods when they produce, there's a problem also.
Talking about farming development in Nigeria, I know you're strongly aware of biotechnology, this particular area of science and technology. What role do you think it could play in helping grow farming in Nigeria?
In fact, when I'm talking about, if I talk about biotechnology, we are fully involved. And you know, the involvement of science and technology is the major thing that will help the farmers. Both in rural farmers, both the people in the, a farmer is a farmer anywhere. And without science and technology, we can't do anything. Let me take, for example, we are now trying to look, the people in the foreign countries, like Brazil, like US, like UK, like France, South Africa, or name it.
Okay, so how much do you know of the use of biotechnology for agriculture? How much do you really know about this?
What happened with the biotechnology, it's a new method of this thing here. It's a new science. And we embrace it because we have seen what the other people in the other farmers in the other countries have gained from it.
What have you seen in the other countries?
For example, in Argentina or Brazil, you see 1 hectare of land of cassava in Brazil can yield more than 50, 60 hectares of cassava tubers. So it shows me that if this is happening here, at least food security we are talking about will be the things of the past. And it shows me that hence they accepted they add also nutrition in their own cassava. That kind of a science is what we need in this country. People are dying because of nutrition. So what are we talking about science? I'll continue saying that our farmers should, our scientists should do more work. We don't need to go and borrow their own ideas. We need to do it in Nigeria, and we can do it. So I'm asking the government also to assist the scientists, because without funding the science is not an easy task. Because you can do the trial, you fail. You continue. Because trial and error is what comes in the science. The little I know about the science. So I ask government, whatever they are doing, let them make sure that they fund science and technology. And with that, we can move to the next level, as I said. Okay,
you've mentioned nutrition, you've mentioned good yields. In what specific areas do you think this technology could help? I mean, improving the nutritional value of our crops and also helping you with yields. What specific areas do you think it could help for you as a farmer?
So like now, let me tell you, farmers are the people that everything you are talking about, this science and technology, they are the people that need to be involved. Involvement of the farmers, as I saw about the nutrition, is that a farmer can take a little food and go to their farm. When they need maybe there's no food elsewhere, they will go and cook whatever they have in the farm and now get healthy. And not only that, what of our children? nutrition we are talking about is not for is for everybody. If you eat a food that is not nutritious enough, you see it start to lean, because nutrient is needed. Everybody need it. I talk of people suffering for eye problem. Without vitamin A, like cassava vitamin A and all these potato vitamin A, many of people are now bringing testimonies of how their eyes is clear. They wanted to go to hospital, they are not going. It is because of the science. They embedded it there in the orange flesh sweet potato, and the people are enjoying it. A lot of people have confessed. In fact, the testimonies is going up and down. So what we try to say is governments to fund the science and technology so that we can move from this stage we are to another stage.
Okay, in terms of yields, what are your expected impact from the use of this technology in agriculture in Nigeria?
I want to tell you the little about what I know. I produce orange fresh sweet potato and the Irish potato. The yield there formerly is about 4-5 tons per hectare. But today we are getting 18, 20. Likewise, the what we tried last year, the vitamin A cassava. The yield in vitamin A cassava is very high. So what are we trying to say? Farmers will enjoy because economically, okay, nutritional wise, okay, and you have to make money.
And talking about good inputs for the farmers, we'll be talking more about that shortly, but we'll have to take a quick break. And my guest has been Daniel Okafor, the National Vice President of the All Farmers Association of Nigeria, speaking on the use of biotechnology for agriculture. We'll take a quick break and the program will return shortly. Do stay.
Did you know that genetically modified organisms, GMOs, are safe and do not pose any risk, hazard or danger to human, animal and the environment? Neither do they cause cancer, infertility, sterility, tumor or any adversity. There is safe use of GMO drugs like insulin, vaccine, rapid diagnostic test kits for malaria, HIV, hepatitis and so on. The safety of GMOs is certified by the World Health Organization, WHO, Food and Agricultural Organization, FAO, European Food Safety Authority, EFSA, the National Academies of Science globally, the Royal Society, UK, and over 110 prize Nobel laureates. GMOs are safe, effective, and certified by MBMA in Nigeria.
Welcome back. Daniel Okafor, National Vice President of the All Farmers Association of Nigeria, is still here. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, Larry.
And just before we went on that break, we were talking about good inputs for farming in Nigeria, which biotechnology is expected to bring. Last year, we saw the release of 2 varieties of cotton. I mean, the approval for their commercial release. How did you receive that news?
National Technology programs under the Ministry of Science and Technology. They are carrying us along in what they are doing, and we join them to make sure that the farmers are fully involved in the release. So when we heard about it, it's in a forum, they call us. But you know, not for past 2-3 years, we have been going around where the trial is being done. And we saw how different it is. Because in the trial center, like the one they have in Abuja or the other side, they show us the old ones and the new ones. And without being this thing, you see the difference. Let me tell you what is happening with the cotton we are talking about. Last 2 years, I was in Halin. Halin is in China. I got the appointment. Somebody gave us an opportunity to supply the cotton, the BT cotton, for him. So I wrote a letter to this thing that there's a need to release this, what we are talking about. And as God may have it, it has been released. So, but what I said again is that releasing is one. Second one is how to multiply it so that the farmers will get it at an affordable price to their benefit, because they want to make money. All farmers need to make money. And we need to be what we call, do more training for them. Very important.
We only recently saw the approval for the environmental release of the first consumable of all the genetically modified crops that have been on trials in Nigeria, which was the BT cowpea. I wouldn't know what your take will be on that development.
It's a welcome. In fact, we farmers in Nigeria are happy to partake in the cowpea, the new cowpea that is to be released, because it's not yet commercial released. But environmentally, a lot is being done there, and we saw how they follow it. Nigeria Biosafety Management Agency have tried their best to make sure that the BT cowpea that's yet to be released are very, very good to be consumed, to consumers, and even to the farmers. Environmentally excellent. So I believe, because they have everything it takes, the equipment they have in their own listing, which we witnessed, have shown me that they are not playing. And I thank God for the kind of management they have. I mean, they are the leaders of the group, the DG.
And what will be your message to Nigerian farmers out there on this technology, or these two varieties that have been approved for commercial release and environmental release?
I want them to actually say, give kudos to our scientists, because it's not easy. Some of the trials have been done for 10 years before this is what we are talking about. So it's not easy. Ask me, a child born 10 years is in primary 3 or 4. So I believe with what they have done, they did a thorough work. And I believe the government should support them. I continue saying government to support this science and technology.
Thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you,
on the program. And my guest has been Daniel Okafor, National Vice President of the All Farmers Association of Nigeria, speaking on expected benefits of the use of biotechnology for agriculture in Nigeria. Agribiotech will be back after this timeout. Do stay. And next, we take a look at this mail from the audience, which is from David Okwadigbo of Abigold Farms Limited in Niger State, North Central Nigeria, who wants to know if the BT cowpea variety is commercially available to farmers across Nigeria and how adaptable it is to the farming environment, particularly in Niger State. Let's see what the Open Forum on Agricultural Biotechnology has to say on this one. Thank you once more, David, for that inquiry, and I hope that satisfied your curiosity. And at this point, we draw the curtains on today's program. Send your emails to agribiotech1@yahoo.com. Send us tweets at agribiotech13 or post comments on the Facebook page Agribiotech on TVC. I am Lara Folayo. See you same time next week.